sorry, I'm gonna have to wear my sunglasses. The sun is right in my eyeball. It's only 3 o'clock, but it is December, so the sun is pretty low in the sky. And I wanted to get some nice light on this beautiful Halcyon green on my Royal Enfield. Anyways, hello and welcome to another AIC video. Today, I apologize, my microphone broke in my move. I need to get a new one, but there's a lot of ambient noise. Apologize for that. But I've had my Royal Enfield Classic 350 now for a week, and I've put about 50 miles on it. I know that's not a lot, especially in a week, but today it's like 67 degrees. 2 days ago it was 32 degrees, and tomorrow is going to be like 45. Like, for whatever reason, the sun came out today. And so I haven't had a lot of time just because it's been very, very cold since I bought it, and raining. We had a little bit of snow, and so I just haven't had as much time on it as I would have liked, but I'm definitely going to be going and riding it here this afternoon. So I made some notes just of my first week of riding the bike. It's just some thoughts I had on it. If you're looking to buy one of these, they're definitely still out there, and they're going for a really good sale this year. I know they're coming out with 2024s, so the 2023s are doing they're doing some really good pricing on these. I've seen them not as cheap as I got mine for, but in the sub $4,000 range. So I took some notes so I wouldn't forget. So of all the bikes I could have bought, why did I pick a Royal Enfield? Price. If I didn't say price first, I'd be lying. It's not the only reason why I bought this bike. In fact, I've been shopping a Royal Enfield Meteor, and I'll talk about that here in just a second, for over a year. I've kind of really been wanting one, but the price is what allowed me to actually buy this. So I sold my red Suzuki and turned that money into this bike. I had to add a little bit to it, but not much, and so that's why I was able to buy it, is because of the price. Now, I am not a big bike person. Most of the bikes I've owned have been 650s. Biggest bike I've owned is an 800. And while there's a lot of fun in a big engine and a lot of speed, I also know myself. And big engine, big speed is a big temptation to drive too fast and make dumb decisions. And so I really wanted to stay in a smaller bike because I'm just putting around town. Even when I lived in Phoenix, I don't need a lot of engine to go 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. I just don't need it. And so it was too much. I love the look of these bikes. The Meteor and the Classic are beautiful looking bikes with extraordinarily clean and good build quality. They look really good. And that was very important to me, is to have a bike that I like to look at. I like just standing and looking at this thing. It's incredibly pretty. The green with that metal flake in it. This isn't a sticker, it's actual paint on here. Just really attractive looking bike. Now, I was looking at a Meteor because what I wanted was the more cruiser style with the lower seat and the more forward pegs. But after owning my Suzuki, which was more of a standard style seating with your feet further back, more under you, up here I realized that was a better format for the kind of riding I do. I have far less smooth roads than I did down in Phoenix. I have a lot more dirt roads that I ride on, unimproved roads. Heck, my own driveway it goes along a square 2-acre plot that is between me and a neighbor, and that driveway is dirt and it's not maintained, and so I needed something that could handle that better, and the pegs being further back meant more control on the bike on those rougher surfaces. More of my weight could be shifted down low when I put my weight on the pegs, versus with a cruiser all your weight's on your rear and on your butt, and so it meant I didn't have as much control on the bike as I did with the more standard riding position. And then I fell in love with this green. Absolutely beautiful color. All right. Some things I don't necessarily love about the bike. The first thing is the seat height. Um, I have a 32 inch, not quite 32 inch inseam. This is not quite 32 inches off the ground. Then once you factor in the width of the seat, I can't comfortably put my feet completely flat on the ground, just barely hovering with my um, heels off the ground, just a touch. When I went back through the videos and I was watching all the reviewers saying, oh, we can put our feet on the ground, they had a different seat on here. There is a different seat option. It's a lowered seat. I have actually purchased that. It's being shipped from India. So I'm going to try that seat out. This seat is very comfortable, very cushy. It's actually a very good seat. It's just a little too high for me personally. So I'm going to try the other seat and see if I like it. But yeah, that was something that surprised me because I watch all the reviews and I see these women riding and they're like, oh, we could put our feet flat. They had a different seat on here, and that's probably why. But yeah, no, very good seat. And if you have maybe anything more than a 32-inch inseam, this probably fine. Put your feet flat on the ground every time. It's a very, like I said, very comfortable seat. The other thing I'm not in love with on the bike are the tires. Now, there's nothing wrong with the tires. They put very generic street tires on here. Once again, I ride on a lot of dirt, a lot of gravel driveways, things like that. And so I'm probably going to be replacing them with a more adventure style tire, something that is meant to handle a little bit more dirt, just because that's just the terrain I live in, right? I live in a very rural area. There's lots of dirt roads. I need a more appropriate tire. That's just like on my cars. I had to get new tires on my wife's car. I didn't get sport touring tires. I got they're not AT tires, but just something that can handle dirt and mud stuff a little bit better, even on a sedan, just because we deal with that. It does have a spot here on the dash for the tripper, but there's no option to add it from the factory. I did find it online. They could be had fairly inexpensively, so I probably am going to add that. That is something I wish I did have on this bike. Again, I live in a rural area, and being able to have directions is a good thing. The other thing is the color options. I love this green. I wish they had a white. That's what I would have picked for this bike. They have like a gray color, but it's kind of a gray blue color. I don't like it. It's kind of underwhelming, but I'm glad they had it in this color. The only other color I would have had it is the chrome and brown color. That is probably my second favorite color that they have. I just wish they had white, because that's what I would have bought. What I love about the bike, obviously, the way it looks. It's very classic looking. I get people give me thumbs up, wave at me when they see it. I've had a bunch of people ask me about, even my short driving, I've had a ton of people ask me about it, and a lot of people have never seen a Royal Enfield in this part of the country before. A lot of my neighbors have bikes, and they're all Harleys, or they're dirt bikes. A lot of dirt bikes up here. The way it feels riding it, I feel like I have a lot of control over the bike with the foot position, the handlebars, and the seating. I just feel like I'm in control of the bike riding around up here. I'll start it here at the end, but I also love the sound of the bike. I don't feel like I have to immediately go out and replace the exhaust. It actually has a nice note to the exhaust. It's not overly aggressive, but it doesn't sound like a sewing machine. If I go back and listen to sound recordings of the stock exhaust some bikes have had previously, they sounded terrible. They really sounded like a cheap mechanical electric sound. And so this one doesn't make me want to race right out and replace it. It sounds good, and I'll start it at the end. Another thing I love about this bike is the way it delivers power. Obviously, not a big bike, not a lot of power. Only has like 20 horsepower, right? And like 20 foot-pounds of feet of torque. So look at that 350cc engine, single cylinder. Again, not a very powerful bike. In fact, I think my wife's Honda Rebel has very similar power with a slightly smaller engine because it's a V-twin. Anyways, doesn't matter. What it means is, if you are somebody like me that likes to just cruise, you're not in a hurry to get somewhere, a bike like this just does it in a very nice, controlled, easy to maneuver manner. This is not a highway cruiser. It's not a touring bike. It is not a canyon carving bike. It is not a race bike. It is a bike for somebody who wants to get on, get somewhere, enjoy getting there, and it really has a lot of that low down torque. And so whether I take off at a light in first or second, it doesn't really care. It really just wants to go. It doesn't want to go necessarily in a hurry, but it will go. I've taken my kids on some short rides on it, where with my Suzuki, it definitely struggled with additional passengers. This acts like it doesn't even know that there's a passenger on the back. It definitely has a lot more torque, especially at that low end, for those short trips. Now, if you're looking to buy one of these, is it the bike for you? Obviously, maybe. If you're a newer rider, this is a really easy bike to ride. The power, like I said, it's very controllable. The clutch is very light. The brakes are very linear. There's no immediate grab, so you're never like on and locked up with the tire. It helps that it has ABS on there, front and rear, which is awesome, especially at this price point. If you're a returning rider, kind of that same thing, where it's just a very predictable ride. Very, I don't want to say leisurely, but it's kind of, it's a very controllable speed. It's a very controllable amount of power. It's a very controllable braking. It's just, it gives you a lot of confidence in riding it, because nothing is, oh, this is too much, or, oh, this is too little. Now, I haven't taken it on the highway yet, just around town. Max speed's about 50 miles an hour, and it has handled it perfectly. Or if you're super budget minded, there is a ton of value in this bike. Brand new bike, $4,000 right now. A lot of these you can have under $4,000 plus taxes, fees, wherever you're at. And you can't touch a lot of decent used bikes at in that price point right now. And you get a 3-year warranty. Like, come on now. You get a ton of bike. This is all metal. Metal fenders, metal tank, all metal, right? So good build material, good build quality. 3 years of warranty on a bike that costs you about as much as what you'd spend on a decent used bike. There's a lot of value in that for me, personally. May not be for you, but for me, I think it's worth it. Now, price-wise, you have your Groms, your Z125s, things like that. This is about that same price, and I feel like you just get a lot more bike, especially for somebody like me and the riding style that I'm looking for out of it. The bike I was kind of cross-shopping this with was the Suzuki, not Suzuki, excuse me, the Yamaha Star V-Star, if they still call it V-Star, 250 V-twin. They have similar power, but this gives you fuel injection, gives you the ABS, has a better sound. I think that still has a drum in the rear. So yeah, and it's more expensive. So it's more expensive, similar power, less features, less technology, not as good looking in my opinion. The tongue looking rear taillight looks kind of silly on it, and it'd have to be changed. Anyway, so that's what I was shopping in against, was the V-Star 250, just because I wanted another smaller cruiser. So that's what I was looking at. Anyways, so those are just some of my thoughts. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, leave those down below. I probably won't do another update for a few months as I get some more miles and time with the bike. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you have an amazing day.